Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We have this guy, the new Prime Minister of Poland, who pretends to be a Democrat and who pretends to promote the Western values, the European values, whatever those come to mean nowadays. I think they're taking a shit on them, actually. But he doesn't like dissent. I mean, who would like, right? He wouldn't like diversity of thought. And he's a tyrant. How is he a tyrant? Through what he says and what he does. So we're going to have an article from Russia Today. It is from the 14th of January 2024. And you have Donald Tusk, the new Prime Minister of Poland, telling his employees, or actually he didn't hire them, but anyway, the government employees, that his government would not tolerate anti-Ukrainian sentiment. Sentiment means, feelings based on thoughts, evidence, worldview, stupidity, however you want to call it, but it's mine. I can have whatever sentiments I want as long as I'm doing the job right. Because I don't think in the job description somewhere, let's say I'm a bureaucrat in the Poland's government, I don't know, answering some phone calls, and I work for the Polish government, and let's say I have an anti-Ukrainian sentiment. I don't think that is in the job requirements. Is it? So that means you have to have only a certain attitude towards certain issues. You cannot have your own opinions, sentiments, feelings about it. Well, the Democrat Tusk thinks not, because he's a communist. No, he's not a communist? All right. I know how it was under the communists, and I know how it is. When you have only one party and everybody else is not allowed to have a different party, now that's communism. So when someone comes and says, this is the only way that we allow you to think, that means you're kind of a communist, by extension. Let me show you this idiot. I'm sorry for you, my Polish friends. I'm very sorry for you. It was better with those crazies before, right? With the nationalists, the far right. Now, Poland Prime Minister won't tolerate anti-Ukrainian sentiment. Every Polish patriot must understand, he mixes things here together, the importance of backing Kiev in its conflict with Moscow, Donald Tusk said. So first, won't tolerate. So let's say some, bureaucrat in your government has an anti-Ukrainian sentiment, feeling, and you don't tolerate that. Are you going to kill him? Are you going to hang him? Are you going to bulldoze his house or her house? Are you going to imprison his family? Collective punishment? Why not? Since you're not, it doesn't seem that you follow European values anymore, but some other kind of values. Clock. Why not? Why don't you just incorporate them all? Collective punishment to the 7th generation. How about that? We do that now in Europe, don't we? He won't tolerate. Can you have any kind of feelings and sentiments you want in a free world, free society? I think you should. I think Tusk should not have the power to even impose that. I can hate and love whomever I want. What do I do about it? That's what matters. He said sentiments, that's feelings, okay? Now let's go and see what else. He said every Polish patriot. So he actually plays the blame game. If you don't agree with my view on that conflict, all right, you're not a patriot. If you're a patriot only when you are agreeing with my view on the events, my version of the events. That's what he said. If not, I will not tolerate it. Very nice Poland you got now. Congratulations. I hope you get rid of this guy and his garbage very soon. Why is he saying this? Because the nation is in arms against him. So he says, hey, you nationalist Poles, strong with big balls, Poles with big balls. Hey, you're not patriots and nationalists if you don't support Ukraine. That means immediately make you a supporter of Russia. This is kindergarten logic, or lack of, or mentality. Let's put it this way. Sentiment. Newly installed, I like this one because this is Russia Today, installed. Polish Prime Minister, you know, when they come and they install you the cable, internet cable, they install it. That's how I see Tusk being installed. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has insisted that he personally won't tolerate any kind of anti-Ukrainian sentiment. That means you have to look at only in one way, in the ranks of his government. So whomever is in his government is going to be not tolerated. That means what? What are you going to do? Gulag? We're going to send them to the front in Ukraine? Tusk claimed in an interview with TVN24 on Friday that in the run-up to the last October's election, the right-wing Law and Justice Party, and I'm quoting, tried to play an anti-Ukrainian note to remain in power, and that nothing of this kind will happen on his watch. He should remember that the biggest, or one of the biggest mouths in Europe supporting whatever those guys did in Ukraine against the Russians was Poland. The second ones were the Baltic states. Total population of those three countries is $6.1 million of people. That's all. 6.1. Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. So when you hear about the Baltic states, it's not like a big mass of land with, I don't know, 59 billion people, okay? It's just 6.1 million in three countries, okay? Again, when you hear Poland talk, yeah, at least Poland has about what? 39 million people, and big country with people with big balls, some of them. But anyway, so what I'm talking about, who supported Ukraine over there the most? Not Germany, not France, not Romania, not any other country, maybe with the exception of Great Britain, who gave them money, more money. But other than that, Poland. Who were in charge of Poland? The right-wingers, the crazies, right? So what are you going to do more than those guys did? Get to war with Russia? They're going to nuke you. I guarantee you that. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's the way I see it. And I won't say it. To remain in power. And I'm quoting, I will never allow anyone in my government, not even the, the janitor working for the government, to build their position on some kind of anti-Ukrainian sentiment. The pro-EU politician. What do you mean? It's so vague. I will not allow anyone in my government to build their position on some kind of anti-Ukrainian government. How can you build a position? Let's say I'm an engineer. I'm working for the government. I'm an investigator, let's say working for the government. I work with this, I work with that. And I say, you know what? Screw that, I like that, I don't like that. And I say it. How am I going to build it if it's not political? Because my job should be based on my abilities, on my knowledge, my expertise. So how can I build it as long as I'm not a politician? If I'm a politician, I can build my my position on kind of anti-Ukrainian sentiment. And just a second. If I don't like these glasses, it doesn't mean that I'm anti them. If I disagree with, let's say I like the color black, it doesn't mean that I hate the color white. So this is an imbecilic. If I don't like something, it doesn't mean I'm an anti-Semitic, I'm anti-Ukrainian, anti-Romanian, if I don't like something and I disagree with it, and I bring justifications, arguments, reasons. But hey, this is a communist mentality, my friends. And I would, TYRANT put it together with communists the same way. All right, the pro-EU politician who headed the Polish government between 2007 and 2014 and was president of the European Council from 2014 to 2019 vowed he's going to hurt you like mommy and daddy. Kiev needs the backing of Warsaw and entire West because, and I'm quoting, he makes the claim, as long as Ukraine is fighting Russia, we are relatively safe, he explained. No, I think this is the way how you are relatively safe. If you develop equal and decent relations with Russia, instead of blaming and claiming and pointing a finger and hatred for what? For generations. That's true for the Russians too. That's how you build it. Do you have a Russian speaking population in Poland? And if you do, don't kill them, don't beat them, don't treat them as second-class citizens, and the Russians will let you live. You have no problem with that. You bring weapons, American weapons, directed to Russia, we have a problem there. So with this kind of activities, militaries, rockets, missiles, air defense systems in Poland, directed not against Iran, against Russia, how do you think you're going to have a relatively safe? Oh, arming yourself? It's true, arming yourself, but you have foreign troops on your country. Well, we're part of NATO, so is the United States of America. I haven't heard, about 10 Polish battalions being on the coast, west coast of US by the Pacific Ocean. In California, Oregon, or the state of Washington. Haven't heard that. How come? Because you're under fucking occupation, that's why. Because in a friendship, in an alliance, there's reciprocity in an alliance. A kind of equality, but Poland is US's Trojan horse in Europe. And I'm quoting, there can be no doubt about our involvement, the involvement of the entire Western world to support Ukraine. That's a lie, but anyway, he's a politician. Every Polish patriot must absolutely recognize these reasons. If not, then no tolerant. He's not going to tolerate. So you have to look he talks in absolutes. Absolutely. Every Polish patriot. Why is he saying patriot? My friends, the patriots did not vote for Tusk. I guarantee you that. Because he is a Brussels guy. You can't be a patriot and sell your country to Brussels. Or to the United States of America, to almost the same extent. But Brussels is even more garbage, more of a communist pressure than is the United States of America, Al Capone. Al Capone treats you differently than the European Union. Tyranny both ways. And this guy, every Polish patriot must is not have to, has to, ought to, should, could. No, must. You must. Absolutely. Irresolutely, right? You can't have any deviation from the dogma. Who talks like that? He tells you how to think, what opinions you have. And if you don't, we're going to hurt you. The Prime Minister called upon Europe to rise to the occasion. Remember, there's not a monolithic Western support of US's interests and the guys who shackled US interests. They're not all together. But anyway, another generalization and pushed to the extreme. Every and absolutely. Okay. Rise to the occasion and invest more money in assisting Kiev because Poland, and I'm quoting, won't be able to cope financially with such a task on its own. Typical communist thought and talk, which is together we're going to go in that direction and we're going to all put money. I don't want to go in the direction. Well, too bad, you have to. You have to. Yeah, we have to go and... No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Well, you have to. That's how it works in a free society. Tell me about the social contract. Can you break it? No. You're in it. It's like that song Hotel California by the Eagles. Right? It says you can check in or something. You can never leave. The same here. You can come in, but you're never going to be able to leave. Hotel California, the same here. You can apply for this or that. Once you're in, you can't leave. Poland has been one of the Ukraine's prime backers, Boris Becker, in the EU after the outbreak of the conflict. However, falling between Polish truckers continue to block. Tusk said that there is a second dimension in relations between Warsaw and Kiev. The Poles want to keep Ukraine, but they can't be harmed by the Ukrainians. That was about the truckers that blocked the traffic between Poland and Ukraine. He's going to do whatever Brussels tells this guy. So he tells you that he's not going to allow the... I'm going to give you a direct example. I work for the government, okay? And I'm not ashamed to say that because you always learn. And sometimes you think you do something good and we get over there, you realize it's garbage. It's fake. It's fake. So in the trainings and the push of DEI that was pushed on us, almost every week we had meetings, virtual meetings, screen and all that, talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Garbage. It was basically riling everybody up to hate one group and only one group and support everybody else, especially one or two groups. So that's how it was. And if you were there to say that in the office, you were dead meat. You were out. You were a hater. Something was wrong with you. The same. They wanted you to have a certain attitude about life that was against what you knew about life, how you live your life, and what you saw around. And they wanted. Without that, you have to keep your mouth shut. And during those meetings, you find the same 3, 4, 5, brown nosers who would come in, we're a victim, I'm a victim, they owe us, all the time. And you couldn't say, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? You are a supervisor. What are you talking about? Discrimination, discrimination, and you're a supervisor. Fuck off. No, continuously. And you had to stay over there and listen to that garbage over and over. And you had one or two crazies who would say something, and then everybody was like, nobody was, and then we're asking, anybody else wants to participate? Nobody, because they all, like I sometimes did, click, 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 click to minimum volume. And I was doing my fucking job and don't care about those garbages. That's what it was. But it was the same uniformity of thought. No, I disagree with diversity, inclusion, and that kind of equity. I disagree with it. Okay? I don't like it. I think it's unfair, unjust. And it takes from some to give to others. That's what they do. With equity, diversity of thought. That's why it was the whole thing with diversity when they started little steps. It was not diversity of how I look. How does that matter? That means we all think the same way. If I'm in a group, we all think the same way. So we should hire more like me? Isn't that racism? The groups, they all think, no, they have the same experience. No, they don't. No, they don't. But anyway, I don't think all Romanians have the same experience, do they? Therefore, let's hire a Romanian. It was the diversity of thought. And inclusion? No, exclusion. Why? When you go to the store to buy groceries, you exclude. You don't include, you exclude. You exclude garbage and you pick whatever is the best for your needs, which is well-being. So I'm not going to include just to include. Oh, you're this, you're this, you're this. Let's come over here, like the Trudeau government. We have the highest percentage of this group or that minority or that. Fuck you. I want the person who gets the job done. I don't care if that's a midget, it's a giant, it's a cyclop, has 50 balls, no cock or cock. I don't care. Or fucks, I don't know, remote mouses. I don't care if he has sex with this. I don't care. If you hire on a position of an engineer, do your fucking job. I don't care who you... no, I really don't care. That shouldn't matter. Oh, I identify as this and my pronouns. I don't give a fuck. And they were pushing to put on your email, when you put your email and you have down investigator, this, and my pronouns are, preferred pronouns are Gigi, Kuku, Kaka. What the fuck? It was not mandatory. I don't know if it's now, but it wasn't at that time. And we're like, what the hell? Is that what matters to you? Yes. Well, that's what identify. That's what you matter. That's who you, how do you call it? You are, this is what identifies you as a human being. Is that what? Yeah, that's what it is. So that you understand what the priorities of that kind of garbage are in this world. And they were employees and they were in good positions. And what are you going to do? Click, click, click. What the fuck is this? I will make a few, not one, a few videos telling stories from working for the government. I will make that. I'm still waiting. I'm just, I will make some stories how you are treated, what kind of garbage department that is, where, and so on, and go from there. But for now, not yet. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.